India's fourth quarter GDP data will be unveiled on the 31st of May, and expectations range anywhere between 2.7% to 4.5%. Starting with SBI research, it expects India's fourth quarter GDP to grow at 2.7%. Now, it believes that the strength in economic activity that was witnessed in the second quarter of FY22 had lost some pace in the third quarter, and by the time it was the start of the fourth quarter, we had seen the onset of the third wave of coronavirus. Aside of that, the supply shocks emanating from the Russia-Ukraine war as well as the red-hot inflation globally also threatens to slow down India's growth going forward. For the full year FY22, SBI Research expects growth to come in somewhere around 8.2 to 8.5%. Moving on to ratings agency ICRA, that expects India's fourth quarter GDP to grow at 3.5%. It also believes that slowdown in the contact intensive industries after the onset of the third wave of coronavirus as well as high commodity prices in the wake of Russia-Ukraine war would have hit India's growth in the last quarter. On to CRISIL then. CRISIL expects India's GDP growth for the fourth quarter to come in at around 4.5%. Remember, RBI in its April policy had revised India's growth forecast downwards to 7.2% from 7.8%, citing the high commodity prices as well as the supply shock after the Russia-Ukraine war as well as the red-hot inflation globally to impact growth going forward. Remember, RBI had in fact announced an out-of-rate interest rate hike of 40 basis points right after its April policy, and it was an out-of-turn interest rate hike because it wanted to move in tandem with its global peers when it comes to fighting inflation. Now, slowdown in growth is not a domestic phenomenon, it's a global phenomenon because we have seen central banks across the globe embark on a rate tightening cycle which is designed to curb red-hot inflation. Now, high interest rates due to high inflation would of course have a net negative impact on growth, and that is why we have seen a spate of global brokerages and ratings agencies come out and revise the global growth forecast downwards.